Reports are out there today, and I can't resist. I can't resist. I apologize. I can't resist. Good luck, Bill Armstrong, is how I'm starting this. Bill Armstrong, the new general manager of the Arizona Coyotes. Now, word's been out there that they're trying to move Ekman-Larsson, and there were rumors about them going to Edmonton or Edmonton calling them and trying to work it out. Ekman-Larsson is apparently willing to waive to move to two teams, Boston or Vancouver. I can't make this up. Boston or Vancouver. Okay. Now, Ekman-Larsson's contract is cumbersome. I'm going to be honest. For both Boston and Vancouver, for what these teams are trying to do, that contract is cumbersome. $8.25 million till 2027. He's 29 now. He'll be 36 at the time this contract expires. So whoever's picking him up, they may be saddled with this contract for a while. So there's already talk about how maybe Arizona's going to have to retain or take a bad contract on. So I looked him up. Boston has $14.4 million in cap space for next year. That is somewhat misleading because there's some restricted and unrestricted free agents they got to worry about. On the Vancouver side, they have $14.2 million in cap space. That is completely misleading because next year things are going to get much, much tougher for them with Demko, Hughes, and some guy named Pedersen due for pretty large raises, I'm going to say, over their entry-level deals. Now, if we're going to look at what these teams have to offer, and I'm just throwing this out there because, again, both Boston and Vancouver not looking to take on a lot of cap. So, for Ekman-Larsson, are they going to retain cap on Ekman-Larsson? Because if they are, they're going to increase their asking price. But what Darren Drager was reporting they wanted from Edmonton was, and you have to think it's going to be something similar, first-round draft pick. Neither team has a first-round draft pick. Young defenseman. Both teams are kind of on the fence in terms of young defensemen that might be worth that. And cap space. Now, I don't have Rathbone on the board here for Vancouver, but his name's going to get thrown in a lot. I don't know. I don't know that the Canucks necessarily make that move. But we're going to look at the Boston side first. You've got the Krejci contract at $7.25 million for one more year. And so if they're going to take on the $8.25 million for Ekman-Larsson, you would think they'd be looking to move out the $7.25 million Krejci makes in order to make this work. One of the reasons Boston lost in the first round against, or in the second round, I should say, against Tampa was defense. And the defense for the Bruins definitely looked like it needed some kind of a facelift. So that's why I'm okay with Krug leaving as a free agent, because I think they needed to revamp their blue line anyways. Now, they can offer a 2021 first-round draft pick, which, again, may not be to Arizona's liking. They can offer a second-round draft pick this year, and if you're looking for young players, Jack Studnicka, maybe, and Urho Vakanainen stands out as maybe the one defenseman that could end up being an NHLer. I can't see Senyshyn's not going to get it done. I don't think Sporil's going to get it done. And I'm not sure that Boston has what Arizona wants. But this is the thing. The player is kind of saying, yeah, that's where I want to go. And the situation this reminds me of is when Ryan Kessler said, I'm out of here, but I'll only go to Anaheim. And it left Vancouver in a situation where Anaheim knew they had a gun to their heads, and Anaheim wasn't giving them anything more than they had to. And they really didn't. Now, on the Vancouver side, there's, of course, the Louis Eriksson contract. If Jim Benning can rid himself of the Louis Eriksson contract, he'll be a hero. But if he picks up a contract that's got 7 more years left on it at $8.25 million in order to get rid of the one that expires in 2 years at $6 million, that might be the most Jim Benning thing that Jim Benning's ever done. Sutter, his contract's up next year, $4.38 million. Maybe you can get Arizona to take that. They lost Soderberg. Maybe they bring in Sutter. They've also lost Richardson, so maybe Brandon Sutter works there. And Ferland, $3.5 million until 2023. It's possible he's not going to play again. It's possible it's an LTIR situation, and Arizona's ears often perk up when that's the situation. But again, they'll have to move out money. Neither Boston nor Vancouver are teams that are in a spot right now where they want to take on a ton of money. I saw a listing of whether, teams that are in cap hell, teams that are in the middle, and teams that are fine. They had Vancouver as a team that's in the middle, and I thought, no, they're not a team in the middle. They are absolutely in cap hell. If they don't manage things well right now, they're done. They're in deep, deep trouble as soon as this coming season. So Now, if it comes to draft picks, they've already been traded. So the 2021 first, please don't do it, Jim. Please, Mr. Benning, no. 2021 second round draft pick and a 2020 third. And this is where we're at. They don't have a draft pick till the third round. Of course, Arizona, due to the penalties that they've suffered, due to the talking to players when they weren't supposed to and getting data on players before the combine, they don't have a ton of draft picks either. So this is just a rough situation altogether, that they have a player telling them, I will only go to one of these two teams, and neither of those teams are awash in cap space. Neither of those teams are awash in draft picks, and they're not awash in prospects they're going to want to get rid of. Now, Tyler Myers, if they want a defenseman back, he's at $6 million for another 4 years. It saves Arizona $2.25 million in cap space, and the Canucks would go from Myers on the blue line to Ekman-Larsson, which I think Canuck fans would appreciate. Although, again, it puts the Canucks in a worse cap situation, and that's only as a 1-for-1, not including all the other players going the other way, because Myers for Ekman-Larsson is not a 1-for-1 deal. No, you got to give up a prospect, you got to give up a draft pick. You can't just say, there you go, look at that, we got Ekman-Larsson for Myers. No. Especially since you'd also be telling them, could you guys retain like $1 million of that? That's when Bill Armstrong hangs up. I've got Nils Hoglander on the board because that's a prospect the Canucks might be willing to part with, and Jet Wu, who's a defensive prospect. Yeah, you could throw Levy in there, but they're not going to take him. You could throw in Podkolzin, but that'll make the Canucks fans go insane. And if I'm Bill Armstrong, I'm saying, so this Podkolzin kid you've got, we'd like him. Please. Thank you. And hopefully at that point, Jim Benning hangs up the phone. The reason I think this is fascinating, this whole idea of Ekman-Larsson going to either Boston or Vancouver, is I can't find a fit. They want a first-round draft pick this year. They want a young defenseman. And we're not talking about just, Vakanainen, Jet Wu levels. And I mean, they're decent prospects, but they're B-level prospects. This is a new general manager who needs to hit a home run. Arizona, the idea that they'll go back into a rebuild, that is absolute insanity. And I understand why people say, well, they should do this because they're at the cap and they need to sell some guys off. But they need to show more upward momentum. They need to show that they're building to something, not stripping away from it just when this team finally had a win of some significance against the Nashville Predators before Colorado shuffled them aside. And they need cap. This is a team that is already cap strapped. So Boston and Vancouver, both teams that are going to be calling around right now to get rid of contracts that are cumbersome, to try to refresh their rosters. In Boston's case, they want to stay a Stanley Cup contender, and in Vancouver's case, they want to become a Stanley Cup contender. After an unexpected appearance in the Final 8 this spring /fall/summer, whatever season it is. Right now it's fall. It was summer, maybe summer tomorrow. We just don't know. It's 2020. Whatever. So it is weird because Ekman-Larsson has basically told the team, I want to go to one of these two franchises, and neither of them are a good trade partner in my eyes for the Arizona Coyotes. I'm not sure how you make it work. I know people will have all kinds of ideas. I expect all kinds of trade proposals. I'm not even giving you one. I'm just throwing up assets on the board and going, how does any of this work? Why in the world? If I'm Arizona, I might be interested in the Ferland contract if I'm trying to get to the cap floor. If I want to have a contract I can throw an LTIR. Maybe. I might be interested in the Sutter contract, but again, should that be part of a package for Ekman-Larsson? I don't know. And can I sell the fan base? And there is one. Yes, there is. No, there is. Can I sell fans who follow this team and cheer for this team on the idea of, hey, we lost our captain, our best defenseman, but we got a draft pick for next year, and we got some pieces in this deal. See what I did there? Honestly, I wouldn't trade Ekman-Larsson for that. I honestly, if Ekman-Larsson's saying I will only go to Boston or Vancouver, I'd say, you know what? We'll figure something else out. Because I don't see a trade partner there. And keep in mind, Vancouver's in the same division as Arizona. The almost worse than anything else would be, hey, Vancouver's gotten better this year. We've gotten worse. And we gave them arguably our best player. So aren't you glad we did that? I can't see it. I can't see it. But I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Because, again, this is fascinating to me. Notice, I'm not getting into all these crazy proposals. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying I don't see a fit. And yet, apparently, that's the only place. And this is from both Elliot Friedman and Darren Dreger. I don't see a fit. I'd be interested to know what you guys think and what works. And if you're going to say Brock Besser, okay, Besser might be on the block, but if again, there's going to be money issues, Besser needs to be extended. I think it's next year, right, for Besser? And if you're the Canucks and you're trading Besser, do you want to trade him in the division? Do you want to take that risk? Do you want to see Besser go to Arizona and be that goal scorer that they need? Because they do need goal scorers. It's tremendous risk of trading in the division. So then you can go over to Boston. And again, Ekman-Larsson's contract to me is a little bit too expensive and is a little bit too long. And I like Ekman-Larsson. I think he's a good defenseman, but I don't really like that contract, which is why I think it's a perfect fit for the Canucks. Right? If you're a Canuck fan watching this, you're thinking, oh, yeah, it's a lot of term and it's a lot of money. Of course it should go to Vancouver. Yep, and then we'll lose Pettersson next year to an offer sheet. Yeah, it sounds about right. So that's what Jim Benning has to be concerned with. As much as Ekman-Larsson looks like he would be an upgrade, because he would, on virtually every defenseman they have that's not named Quinn Hughes. No offense to Alex Edler, but I would put Ekman-Larsson ahead of Edler. The reality is, it is a long-term contract. So let me know what you guys think. We'll see what happens over the next few days. You would think if this is going to come down, or if Arizona's going to say forget it. Does he get moved? Does he go to Vancouver or Boston? It's hilarious. Those are the two cities. I thought, wow, Oliver Ekman-Larsson is a THG fan and he wants me to cheer for him. That's not true. But it is interesting that he would pick those two organizations. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen upon this video, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting offseason. Thanks for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.